Welcome. Good morning to June 2nd. Holy cow. We're almost through. Oops. Turn off the music. Almost through the first half of the year. Can you believe it? So that begs the question. Those of you who set goals, are you halfway there? And honestly, you shouldn't be halfway there because the first quarter generally sucks. And then we gather momentum this time of year, this month, next month, and the month after that. And then we start slowing down again. So this is your time to make hay while the sun is shining. Although I did get rained on this morning with my dog, so that's not happening. So anyway, hi, Sarah. Okay, today we're going to do something very interesting. I'm going to discourage you all from wanting to be real estate brokers. And I'm going to demonstrate two wild ass stories that have come across my desk in the last week, just to show you how, I'm going to say it, batshit crazy some people are, right? And at some stage in your career, and I've eliminated all the names to keep everybody innocent, at some stage in your career, you're going to come across some kind of unstable people. And they're going to drive you crazy and make you feel bad about the way you do business. And it has nothing to do with you. They are just batshit crazy people. All right. So I got two stories for you today to talk about. All right. But before we do that, it is June 2nd. So we've got 28 days in June. We got all of July. We got all of August, which is our best selling months of the year. So this is the time to be totally engaged and doing what we're teaching you to do. And starting tomorrow, Chris and Jimmy are doing the Elevate class. Zillow says prices are down 9%, but I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see it either. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Zillow's algorithm is totally off. But anyway, that's where I was. So tomorrow, June 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Chris and Jimmy are doing a class called Elevate 21. And if you have the opportunity, I mean, we will Zoom it, or we're going to record it for sure. But you really need to, if you can, make the trip. It's worth it, right? Drive wherever you're driving from. But it's a 3-day thing, stay in a hotel, make a mini vacation out of it. But this is a way to just totally get connected with the company, get connected with your peers, and get focused on what needs to be done during the next 3 months that we are going to have a really, really rock solid real estate market. Because if you miss the next 3 months, you're going to miss a lot of really, really good opportunities. I'm talking to agents who are just crushing it right now. I mean, $1 million sales here, $1 million sales there. This is happening. This is happening. Listings are coming. They're selling in a day. Something's crazy. Rachel says she's got two spaces in her car. If you want to ride with us, that's a great idea to carpool. Super cool. Cool. All right, I'm going to jump into my two stories, and I hope you guys like them. I don't know. This is kind of a weird, but it's real life real estate, right? And I can't make stuff like this up. This is real life real estate. So I am going to, maybe I won't share. Let me just go to my inbox. Okay. No, I will share because I want you guys to know I'm not making this up. Okay, let me make sure. Yes, I get the right one up. All right. Zoom, Craig, maximize, share, text, go. Hi, Craig. This is our agent writing to me. I'm assuming you had the opportunity to read the lengthy text message that was sent at 8:52 this morning from Max. He obviously isn't interested in any contact from me, so they're blaming their agent for something. I've created an addendum to the contract to extend the closing date to June 26th. I've drafted out the following to use when I send the addendum to Loop. So let's scroll down to the bottom. Oh, I didn't include that one here. Um, so this seller buyer has a contract to purchase a house that was set to close on June 1 that was subject to the sale of their home on around that time. Well, the sale of their home got postponed. Shit happens, right? Who's the best buyer available? The one you have in your hand, right? Because if we cancel this deal, then we got to find another buyer. And another buyer's got to go through inspections and financing, and it's going to take more than 25 days. So it's just not going to happen, right? So this is all over a big misunderstanding because the poor buyer, we entered into a contract that was subject to the sale of their home, but it's going to take longer to sell the house than they thought. So our agent writes back, Dear Mr. Whatever your name is, whatever I've done to said that has offended you or your missus, please accept my apologies. My actions were directed towards a successful closing of your property at, I should have that address out. Your as is contract had a closing date of June 11th. Where's it go? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come here. Contingent on the sale of their property in wherever it was. That property is shown in the MLS as under contract with an anticipated closing date of June 25th. So we're only looking at a 14-day extension, right? So no way in heck we're going to find another buyer. But it's our job to tell the buyer and the seller that their best result is to stick with the buyer in hand and nurture it. There's a couple problems that pop up in here. Um, Under the provisions of the contract, Mrs. is obligated to provide a copy of the contract with the buyer's name and a contract price obliterated, which is true. Due to the differences in the closing dates, there needs to be a contract addendum which extends the closing date from June 11th to June 26th, which should allow sufficient time for the funds to be transferred to Paramount Title for closing. Attached, please find the contract addendum 1 for you and for Mrs. to sign to accomplish this task and proceed to closing. To complicate matters, in reviewing the file, I'm not finding, and this is a problem, where the buyer has paid the $100 escrow deposit to the title company. I thought it best to do nothing further to hear from you or Chris. So, okay. Number one, don't ever take a $100 deposit, please. It is meaningless. It's not worth fighting over. It's not worth doing anything. If they only have $100, they should not be buying a home. I'm going to be a real jerk about that because God forbid the AC goes out and they can't fix it, right? So $100 escrow deposit just doesn't ever work. $1,000 really is not even enough. If you're getting an additional escrow deposit, get 5,000, get $10,000, right? And if they don't have it because they're going FHA or whatever, fine. I heard on the radio this morning, Rocket Mortgage is doing 1% down. They're covering the other 2.5%. Holy cow. I mean, they are promoting homeownership like crazy right now, right? So this is a very simple. The next one's way more complicated, but this just creates stress and drama in our world, and we have to deal with these people that are kind of crazy. Mom, did you raise your hand for a reason? Um, yeah, so some people just don't get it. So we in real life real estate have to maintain a level, calm demeanor that calms people down because they're going to go into uncertain insanity, really, and just get pissed off over things that they shouldn't be pissed off over. Sometimes things don't go as planned. But the bird in the hand, I've had a little bird in my hand, is the best one you have. They're under contract with their house to close. They're going to close in 14 days. You're going to get a delay. I'm sorry. But if we cancel them, we got to go back on the market, find another buyer, go through inspections, go through financing, go through appraisals, hope it all works out, and maybe 30 or 45 days from now, we'll close. So the level-headed person speaks logically and calms them down. So in real life real estate, that's what we really have to practice doing is calming people down, right? Because this makes no sense. For this person to be this upset over this action makes no sense to me at all. Okay. So that was condition number one. Number two is going to be a lot more complicated. And if you got little ears in the cars, I'll leave out the bleeps because there's a lot of F words in this document. And this is something that just really, really, really um, is out of control. So we're going to go to that one next. Our agent writes me, shall I wait for the drugs and alcohol to wear off? Because this guy is absolutely out of his mind, right? So here we did, and this is something I want to share with you. So you're seeing my screen. Yes, you are. Okay. So we wrote an addendum to a contract, and this is so simple and simple, simple, simple. Buyers and seller agree that the buyer name will change from Blue Fox LLC to Jerry Morrow, managing member of Blue Fox LLC. All right, that should always be the case. An LLC is not a person. An LLC cannot sign a contract. Only the managing member of the LLC can sign a contract, and only the president of a corporation can sign the contract as president. So I'm the president of Century 21 Beggins. Century Beggins owns property. When I sell property, I sign it as Craig Beggins, president, right? I own some properties in LLCs. I signed Craig Beggins, managing member, right? So when you guys are writing contracts, it's just a good lesson. You never write the contract in the name of the LLC. You do it in the name of the managing member. All right. So that wasn't the point of this. It was just something that popped up. But going from the bottom to the top, such an innocent communication. Um, I took out the names. Operations Department wrote, this goes back on May 28th, which is only 4 days ago. Century 20 is removed, send them their checks, send closing instructions for Monday, private location for whatever, remove Century Beggins from comms. This is like 6:51 p.m. So maybe some alcohol is involved. I don't know. We will send our Century One reps and when for JMO to direct, whatever that means. Send C2M what they think they deserve and then some. We love them, but can't succeed with them. Commission check and remove them from our future from all aspects. This makes no sense, right? Oh, and tell the listing agent he can suck my blank. We're firing all things Century 21 Beggins. This is like really rude, right? Remove them from us, baby. We gonna get this money and C21 ain't part of any of it. We are moving through them. Tell dumbass blank and broke blank that to ask about the $12 million they owe us, how they got to move through that. Pay me, don't call me. As soon as these FOs begin to figure out how to send JMO 12 million or forfeit said properties, don't send us tramps with their blanks hanging out and trying to manipulate the principal. Never send a fat blank third generation kid to stop a bad word. C21, whatever his name was with them, remove her from us. We no longer trust them. We're out. It started up here with we love them. And then it's like, remove these peasants from our presence. We're here now. We're sending us now. Remove them. We will absorb the entire company and the beach market. We are coming with $300 million strong. Love blank. What a wacko. Anybody want to be a real estate broker now? That was on May 28th, 6:51. Then at 7:24, we get another one. Hey, cancel your listing and involvement with C2Ns and a $50 million lawsuit. There's no such thing as a $50 million lawsuit. It's a real estate company. Well, that's not true. There is. Century One has paid $87 million to get us out of the NAR thing, but that's Century One, not us. You'll never obtain my approval on a sale as 50% owner of these units. I will never agree to sell to Century 20 as you have violated fiduciary trust. You are all fired. See $6 million lien to whatever, or we can file with CT1 fiduciary trust violations with the board. Send listing cancellation, mutual release agreement, and only at what goal agenda is to report you and the person to the board for the multiple violations you've committed. C21 broker, broken dreams have been fired, canceled, and removed. If you doubt this resolve, you're gonna have problems, son. Remove yourself and your BS company from the situation. You don't work with us, you homie boy. I mean, this is an unstable person, right? We're gonna talk about this when we finish it. I never liked your bitch ass company. Leave. We're here now. We'll handle it from here. Send the listing cancellation confirmation. We're going to be at your office home first thing, homeboy. Get lined up or we're going to straighten you up. Check me out. Get out of my way. Um, CC, somebody with a fat ass. Get out of our way now. So far, don't C21 don't owe us money, but they keep violating fiduciary trust. Trust me, they'll only owe me. Remember when this started with us? It started when we changed the name from the LLC to adding the manager member who has the right to sign the document. Um, then he posts some case law, some person versus Century. You don't want these problems. Trust me. Um, we coming, boy. Sit tight. JMO coming for you, little. Um, I'm gonna be in your master bedroom later tonight. Leave Dipty because we about to Netflix and chill, little. You can raise my sons when we're done, since you can't have none. I got you, little F you, but I still love you. You want to get this money or still want to wrestle with the beast? Tell me how far you want me to choke, brother, little B. Um, this is a real correspondence from a consumer, right? 7:24 p.m. Then at 7:32, send one crew to said location. Don't leave till we obtain mutual releases from all contracts. If the police are there, tell them to contact us at this number. If you fail to send crew 2 and 3, repeat till you reach mutual. This is May 28th. What was May 28th? Um, where's my calendar? May 28th is Wednesday. Then again at 7:52, we're done with this company. We're sending our people, obtain mutual releases. I thought I read that already. This is you, boo boo. Get it done, little B. Get some sleep, son, because we're sending you problems, bro. Most importantly, to the Midwest. Let us know when you want to tap out, or we're going to keep coming till we got your home, your mom's practice, and garnish somebody's wages. Little B, we're coming for you. 7:52 p.m. Um, and then our agent writes back, please see the email below. Advise. We previously sold to X and his group years ago. When he and one of his associates or partners had a falling out, they wanted us to sell and engaged us to list it. Okay, this is how it started. So I saw the crap that followed. Unfortunately, the storm, we're talking about Helene and Milton, severely impacted the property and the parties could not agree on submitted offers that came in either prior or post to the storms. Ultimately, X, one of the purple people, extended the listing, and we recently notified X that squatters appeared to be living there, which they confirmed through the local sheriffs. I stated they needed legal representation. Perfect answer to handle that, and do not know how this is proceeding. Once the storms passed, Y, the other person, basically disappeared until now, and I do not know the dynamics or connection between X and Y. And if his current profanity-laced tirade concerns the other person or his relationship with that person, then all, all I have tried to do is market the property and keep them apprised of the activities and the actions in the neighborhood. I was told post the storm they were working with and on insurance claims, and they were not considering a sale or anxious to set a new price until they received a payout. The dot loop link below involving another agent from the company and an address I know nothing about. As to one person, once I found out he was in any way involved, I've tried to include him in correspondences. I understand the neighbors that he was Airbnb one or two of the units, which is not allowed in that zoning. Not my problem, except they would not allow showings when I had them scheduled. As to profanity-laced rant below, I am dumbfounded and I have called the managing partner, X, to get clarification, but have not yet received a call back. And then it says, shall I wait for the drugs and alcohol to wear off? This is real life real estate, guys. This happens. Some people are under a lot of stress, and real estate, buying and selling a home is considered one of the most stressful things that goes on in life. It really is. And I think we have to make it a conscious effort to follow protocols and do things right. Right. So in this particular case, the only advice I have for the agent is there is a managing member of that LLC who is the signature. Can we get a series on TLC? There you go. We need to know who the managing member is, communicate with the managing member because they have the authority to sign. If there are two managing members, that's like having a husband and wife. They both have to be communicated with so you can make sure things happen properly because they both need to sign. And if there are three managing members, then there's three people you got to communicate with. So beginning with the end in mind, sometimes we have to literally begin with the end in mind. Where are we? Who owns this property? Who's the deciding factor? Who do I need to communicate with? And make sure you communicate with everybody. I mean, that was such a rude, wrong, terrible string of emails. And obviously started late at night and went way beyond late at night and just was tacky. And we didn't do it. All we're trying to do is sell a house, but they're stressed, right? So let's talk about that for a second. So I've got the saying that I've been using for a while, and I won't use the word, but I say some people still don't know how effed they are with the results of the storms that have hit the west coast of Florida, right? There are still people waiting for insurance claims. They're waiting for all kinds of stuff. I just talked to one of my neighbors this morning. Storm damage is not going to cover their roof. So they've hired an insurance inspector, adjuster, and the adjuster is now fighting for them. So they got to go through another 3 or 4 months. But in the meantime, their roof is tarped and it's leaking. So what are they going to do? They're stressed out. It's a beautiful home, but the roof is bad. Did the storm cause the roof bad? No, it's an old house. It needs a new roof, but it needs a new roof. And that just creates problems because now they got a house and they can't really fix the interior because the roof is still leaking. So they can't do that. So a lot of people are going to be under a lot of stress while we're going through what we're going through because it's not happening fast enough. So back to my point, a lot of people don't know how F they are because it takes so long to get there. What did you say, John? If under the 50% rule, they can move forward. If property is gone, they can move forward. Those in between are, yeah. So that's the other side of this. So, all right. So the 50% rule, if you're not, so most of the property appraisers websites that I've been to is they will tell you what the building value is. And it's the building value that matters, not the land value. So if the building value is $70,000 and it's going to cost $60,000 to fix it, well, that's over the 50% rule. So 35,000 would be half of 50% of 70,000. It's going to cost 60. So they're not going to issue a permit to rebuild that house. So now they're stuck because they can't rebuild it on its current platform. They've got to knock it down and elevate it. There are some other options available. Rachel says, Luke Abrams, RNC Roofing, they refer you to attorneys, and they've been a godsend for people who have been successfully gotten the deductible down in a few cases. Yes, there are ways to negotiate, and Rachel put their number in the chat. So, so an insurance adjuster generally takes 10% of the claim. An attorney generally takes 30% of the claim. But if you've got a claim to make and you don't have the $100,000 to put a new roof on your house and you need to fix it, you need help. So once again, so to my point, if you're over the 50%, so that $70,000 building is going to cost $60,000 to repair, you're over 50%, now you're stuck. And now you still have a mortgage. And that mortgage needs to be paid every month, whether it's valid or the house is there or not. The bank doesn't care. They lent money on the building, they lent it to you. So you got to pay it. So the people that can't rebuild, that don't get insurance funds to rebuild and have a mortgage are really, really, really in trouble. Jennifer just wrote in, and there's something called look back period. The look back period goes back and says, let's say look back periods 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You can take the repairs that have been made to the house and add them together. So if you didn't exceed the 50% after the look back period, you still have some room. But they need advice. And each county has that determination. Some are a year, some are 2 years, some are 5 years. I think they're changing all of that now with the state reforms. Um, I'm just reading chats right now. Those were the two topics I want to talk about. Yeah, I think that's Jugs talking. I agree. Chat GPT in gangsta mode. Ooh. Anyway, that was real life real estate for today. Some people are crazy and there's a lot of stress in our industry, and our job is to remain calm. And sometimes you ignore things like that, right? I personally chose to ignore both of those situations because people are illogical. It makes no sense. They need to calm down, and then we can have a logical conversation because there's emotional bad and there's logical good. And we need to get them from emotional bad to logical good to make a meaningful conversation and find a solution to their problem. So when you come across a situation where somebody is in an emotional bad state, sometimes you just got to let them cool down, right? And my favorite thing to do is say, you know what? You need to call an attorney. And that usually calms them down and puts them into an emotional, logical state. So anyway, that was real life real estate for today. Happy Monday, June 2nd. Look forward to seeing you at sales meetings and tomorrow. Happy Monday. Thank you, everybody.